All right, this is One Last Midnight. Welcome back to another episode of Astroneer, and there's more news from System Era. So obviously the big news is that the May update did not come this week. It's going to be coming next week. We're hoping. You know, the only thing that's going to stop it is if they find a big showstopper defect before they go live. So hopefully they haven't come across anything, but you know, they have to go through a recertification process. They have to go through all that before everything is ready to go. Joe wound up showing off a lot about the dedicated servers. He showed the Nitrado backend admin interface, where you can, you know, go ahead and set your permissions for the admin and how the admin works. The owner of the server is always going to be the admin. You have the ability to be able to upload your old save files. So if you've got some really cool save files that you want to upload onto the server for people to play, you can do that. You know, abilities to be able to shut off the server, turn on the server, you know, reset the server. All that stuff is available through the Nitrado interface. Now, the price point for the Nitrado, Joe had said it's going to be somewhere around the $10 range. So, you know, probably $10 and above. But that's going to be for 8 players on a server. And you're going to be able to, you know, do all kinds of fun stuff with friends and family and all that great stuff. There was also a demonstration on how to manage the server inside of the game. You know, being able not only to, you know, connect to a server and have a list of servers that you can connect to, but also if you're an administrator, to be able to add people to a whitelist or kick people or ban people, that type of thing. You know, I'm actually really familiar with this interface because every time there was a dedicated server test that I had access to, this is how I was able to get into that dedicated server and also be able to manage the people that were on there. And if you have administrative rights, you can also reset the game at this point, changing it, starting a new file, or changing it between adventure and creative mode. And then a couple days later after that, there was another live stream that came out and Joe did essentially a playtest of the ARM. Now, there isn't any more huge news about the playtest of the ARM. This was just Joe messing around with it and trying to, you know, build things with this particular ARM. Try to build like little machines with this ARM. And it was cool to see some of the things that the ARM could do. Now, granted, it's, you know, playtest, so it's buggy as all hell. And there were some problems with the ARM not recognizing specific items, but you can kind of get the gist if you watch that whole live stream of how this ARM is going to work and interact with machines. Now, at one point in time, you know, Joe had hooked everything up to the chem lab, but the chem lab was not auto producing. So I don't know if that's going to be something that's going to be introduced in June, or if that is something that's going to come later down the road to be able to, you know, automatically turn on some machines. The smelter is already kind of an auto thing, but you know, if you look at the soil centrifuge and you look at the chem lab, those things are not. So we'll see if they give us some sort of mechanism to be able to deal with, you know, automating those machines fully so that you can really just roll off. And if you want to make a bunch of whatever, you can just, you know, start that process and take off and go get more resources to continue. The one last thing that was talked about was performance. And so let's touch on that for a minute.
There's some good news for people who are playing just vanilla multiplayer sessions. So part of this update, part of the work that the engineering team did was to make sure that the game runs really well on dedicated server and make sure that 8 people who are playing on a console can join a server and have it run. Because there still are concerns from on the multiplayer side about, like, even if you're joining good hardware, you might just have issues because, like, the console can't do it. So is it spelled Nitrado? It's spelled Nitrado. And so the update that has dedicated servers, which is the one that's coming up, has amazing performance upgrades. Like, really, honestly, I've been trying to, like, you know, we've been making progress and we've been making really good progress, but this update is really quite good. So I have a feeling that people who are just playing default versions of the game without having a dedicated server are still going to see, like, really good gains from their frame rates, stability. Ola's been working really hard on reducing the memory footprint so that way your saves can get bigger and not crash. So I don't have like a side-by-side right now, but it's running really quite good. It's also single player, so it's just a full game. Those optimizations come like that have to do with just animations. There was optimizations to the power system because it was like just doing a lot. There was optimizations, I'm pretty sure, for like research. I mean, I could like actually probably get Sam in here to talk about them, but yeah, there's some really good gains here. Part of why dedicated servers took longer was we weren't really happy with just having people join the server and still have some multiplayer issues. And so we wanted to wait till we had like set goals, set targets for like our performance, and we hit all those, which is really cool.
So that covers single player, and I can testify that the performance in single player it's a massive improvement. At least from my system it was. I mean, I saw double, triple frame rates increase. It was absolutely incredible. That's starting off brand new, fresh. Now I didn't get into like a huge base or anything, but I have a feeling that the performance is going to be there and hopefully go throughout. At the very least, if it cuts down to half of what the beginning game is, I'll still be really happy, because that's more than what I have been getting while I've been playing. Now, there was a question about the co-op. Is co-op going to be resolved?
Anyone have any suggestions? Fix co-op? Once we get to the next update, talk to me again about it. I have a feeling you're going to be very excited.
Now, this is my experience from co-op play. I did do a test on co-op play with the build that I had, which is the build that came from their dedicated server tests, which I think is still going on. And I honestly did not see a huge performance increase. There were times where I dropped down again to 10 frames per second for co-op. Now, I don't have the final build. Nobody does. But I'm hoping what happens is that when they release next week, that they've identified some problems and fixed some more stuff that has gone into the build to handle some of the co-op issues. And of course, we'll be doing more follow-up tests after the actual official release. Well, that's it. This is a short update. And, granted, there's about 3 hours of live stream video if you guys want to troll through it. A lot of it was just Joe playing the game and messing around with some of the new items. There wasn't a lot of leaks in these last couple videos. There was a few tidbits here and there, and I kind of gave them to you already. But there's not, an enormous amount of... It wasn't a leak video, right? These weren't leak live streams. But it was really cool to see the gameplay of the current build that Joe had, and, check out some of the ARM stuff and look at some of the dedicated server stuff. At any rate, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. We've got a great community of people here. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, you can find the links in the description below. And make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you know when I go live and when I post new videos. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.